All right, people, NBA free agency is happening right now. People are getting paid so much money that we don't even know who they are. Kevin Durant hasn't even said where he's going. We're going to talk that. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk the Olympics. And this is 1130, The Tiger Video Podcast. I am Dylan Marsh. Let's get started. We're going to talk about Rolando McClain, the linebacker for the Cowboys, who just got a 10-game suspension for substance abuse policy. And sound familiar, doesn't it, Dallas Cowboy fans? Because this same guy got a 5-game suspension last year for the exact same thing. And this is a big blow to the Cowboy defense. Bigger than it already is. As bad, I guess you could say it is. It's not horrible. But with McClain gone and Lee always getting injured, what does the Cowboys defense have? And their offense is what keeps them winning games and keeps them in playoff contention most of the time. Because Romo's a decent quarterback. Bryant's one of the best receivers in the game. The offensive line's the best offensive line in the league. And their draft pick, Ezekiel Elliott, I think is one of the best picks in the draft. Jerry Jones did a great job on that one. Because I think he's going to be a stud behind that line. And back to McClain, this dude was a number 8 draft pick by Oakland. And he had so much expectations that he hasn't really exceeded. He hasn't gotten to. He's been good, but in 2013, they kind of kicked him off the team after he got kicked out of a practice. And then he got arrested for assault and discharging of a firearm. And he got sentenced to 180 days in jail. And after that, the Cowboys sign him, and this starts happening. Are the Cowboys going to release McClain? If they don't release McClain, I wouldn't be surprised because he's one of the best defensive players. But I wouldn't be shocked if they do either because he's missing more than half the season. Why would you pay him for that? Now, Jason Pierre-Paul, most of y'all know who he is because he got half his hand blown off in a fireworks incident last year. And now he's part of a public service announcement commercial you're going to see on TV this 4th of July weekend. And it kind of shows how tragedies in life, you will be able to help people by teaching them not to make the same mistake, which I applaud JPP for doing. And I'm going to brag on him a little bit because he got an extension this year, even though he only played half the season with that hand taped up, clubbed up, and he still got an extension. And now he's going to get a specially custom-made glove to fit his new hand, I guess you could say. And I'm excited to see how well he does. I don't know if he's going to be the Pierre-Paul that we used to know, but I'm excited to see what he does this year for the Giants. Giants still aren't going to do nothing in this year. They're not going to be anything. But I'm excited to watch him. Now we're going to talk about the Andrew Luck situation. Andrew Luck just got a 6-year, $140 million extension with the Colts with $87 million guaranteed, which I think is absurd. Not saying he doesn't deserve it. He's just young, and I know they want to lock him up, but I think this is too much money for the Colts, whose defense needs a lot of work. They need to get some more receivers, a better offensive line, and you spend all this money on your quarterback. Granted, a quarterback's the most important position on the team. Yes, they need to be paid the most because they're the most important. But you see quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, these players who get pay cuts, but they win because their whole team around them is great. Tom Brady's not even the highest paid player on his team. His slot receiver, Danny Amendola, gets paid more than he does. And Julian Edelman, his other receiver, gets paid more than he does. Peyton Manning took pay cuts to get that defense stacked on the Broncos. As you saw last year, defense wins championships in the NFL. The Broncos showed that with Von Miller and that defense shutting down Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game and then going to the Super Bowl and shutting down the hottest team in the league in Cam Newton in the Super Bowl. That's why I don't think the Broncos are going anywhere since Manning's gone. They're having quarterback situation troubles, but that defense is still there, and it's still stacked. I don't know if Von Miller's going to play because he's holding out, because he doesn't want a franchise tag. We will see, but defense wins championships. And with a contract like this, with such a young player, I think it's going to go out into the league and have quarterbacks like Derek Carr for the Oakland Raiders to say, hey, because he's a luck type quarterback. Hey, I want that type of money. But I think he needs to have it in his head. The Raiders are worse than the Colts are. And the Raiders need so much help on defense. And the offensive line's not great. The running game needs help. I hope that he I want to see Oakland. I like seeing teams who've sucked for the past decade just come out of nowhere. I love stories like that. And I think Oakland can definitely do that if they don't give Derek Carr an extension that's coming up that he will need to lock him up. And with quarterbacks like Teddy Bridgewater with the Vikings, they need help. You know, you see people like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, one of the baddest quarterbacks in NFL. One of the best. He doesn't have a huge contract because he wants his offense to be loaded. Granted, there's a lot of no-names, and he makes everybody on that field better, but he's still not crazy paid like Andrew Luck just got. Andrew Luck could get hurt. You know, I hope this doesn't happen. I don't wish injury upon anybody, but Andrew Luck could get hurt and play one game next year and maybe never play again, but still get $87 million no matter what happens. You know, hopefully with all this money he's getting, he'll get a better haircut. Maybe he'll trim his beard a little bit. Now let's move on to the Olympics in Rio. We're going to talk about Usain Bolt. Most of y'all know who Usain Bolt is. He's the fastest man in the world. As we saw these past two Olympics, setting world records, putting us in awe of how fast this dude is, honestly. I love watching Usain Bolt. Yes, I always root for USA, but seeing him run is just wow. And he tore his hamstring in the trials last week, and he released a statement saying, I tore my hamstring, but he's already getting medical treatment. He's hoping to be healed by July 22nd, which is the London Anniversary Games. And if he wins the races he's in those, he will qualify for this upcoming Olympics. So we still might be able to see him if his hamstring's healed enough. Which he won a trial in Jamaica with a torn hamstring before he knew it was torn. That's when he felt pain. He was like, oh, that's not good. And then he goes and races one more, and he wins. And he's like, oh, that's definitely not good. And it started hurting him. That shows how fast this dude is. Another thing about Rio is the conditions. People are worried about Zika virus, but then also on the shore of where the volleyball courts are supposed to be, dismembered body parts came washed up on the beach. That's not the type of thing you want from that's not a news headline you want a month before the Olympics come to your town, to your city. And I've heard people say Rio's not safe and that the police aren't even getting paid extra to protect the athletes and the visitors. So a lot of people are backing out of the Olympics because of health issues, and then also because they want to rest. And then a lot of people are not coming to the Olympics because of all this. And Rio's taking drastic measures to where you don't even have to have like a type of visa, or it's going to be a lot cheaper to come to the Olympics because tickets are not being sold, and it's a month away. Yes, people are still going to be there. People of Rio are going to be there, and people from all around the world are going to be there, but just not like all the other Olympics. And now we're going to talk about Mr. Olympia himself, Michael Phelps, a 22-time medalist, and how he came out of retirement. Last year after London, he said, I'm done. and he went to go try amateur golf. Didn't work out that great for him. And now, a year and a half before the Olympics, he was like, okay, I'm going to start training again for Rio. And he did. During the trials this past week, it looks like he hasn't even skipped a beat. This guy's already qualified for 3 events. He's the first person ever to qualify for 5 Olympics. That's another thing to put down in his book. Michael Phelps is insane. He's not even sure if he wants to do the relays yet. So we might see him in 4 or 5 other events. 4 or 5 events this Olympics, which means he's going to probably add up on that medal count to make him even more legendary than he already is. He looks like he's been training the past 4 years except the last year and a half. I'm excited. I love watching him swim. America has so much pride in him, and he's a good example for America, even though he's been busted with drugs, stuff like that. But who hasn't? All these athletes, they have all this stuff on him, and who hasn't been lately? So go Phelps, go America. And now we're going to talk about the Team USA basketball. And why everyone's freaking out about him, because LeBron's not playing, because he put his body through, he tortured his body going through this season to get that championship. And Steph Curry's having surgery, so he's not going to play. And neither is Blake Griffin, Anthony Davis, Chris Paul. All these players are on the team last year. And now everyone's saying, oh, the Dream Team's dead. The Dream Team is not dead. The Dream Team, Team USA basketball is always a dream team. This is a roster that you build on a video game. This is the roster for Team USA this year. The point guard's Kyrie Irving, the championship point guard for the Cavs. Y'all saw how clutch he was in the finals. Harrison Barnes, y'all saw him in the finals. Draymond Green and Klay Thompson from the Warriors, y'all saw them in the finals. 4 great players just right there. Kevin Durant from the Thunder, the person everyone wants, who we're going to talk about later in free agency. DeMarcus Cousins, the best center in all of NBA, the nastiest dude in the NBA, which I don't think he's going to be nice in the Olympics at all. I don't think he's going to change his game for that. He's going to be rough. Paul George, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, and Carmelo Anthony, one of the best scorers in the game. Jimmy Butler, 7'1" DeAndre Jordan, another center. Why are people freaking out? If this team doesn't win gold, something's wrong. Because, yes, you have teams like for Spain, Italy, maybe Canada, I don't know, Africa, all these good Olympic basketball teams, but their best players come to America to play with these guys, the best in the world. There's no way we should be freaking out. We might not blow people out by 65 like we did last year, but we'll definitely blow people out. I don't think we're going to have a problem in basketball at all. You know, we have a killer roster. Y'all watch. It's always fun to watch like the first quarter or two. Then it gets really boring because it's a huge blowout. And then we watch them win gold, and we're always happy. There's nothing to worry about. I don't see any way we couldn't win gold if any less silver. Now we're going to go to NBA free agency. And where is this guy going? Kevin Durant is stressing the whole NBA community out, stressing me out, because y'all know I'm a Thunder fan. And his agent released a statement. He's going to make his decision in 24 to 36 hours. Where is he going? But I think people are blowing this out of proportion with all the reports that we get. Like with the first meeting with Oklahoma City, that went really great. And it was a 3-hour meeting. Oh, he's staying in Oklahoma City. He has to. You know, no one meets for 3 hours. Okay. Then the meeting with the Warriors went good. That's what someone said. It went good. And everyone's like, oh, he's going to Golden State now. He's going to Golden State. Clippers, he was blown away by their presentation and the thought of a big four with DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, and himself. Oh, but now the Clippers aren't even in the conversation anymore. He told the Clippers, no, I'm not gonna join them. People look way too much into what they hear, especially during free agency. It's crazy during this time in the NBA. And the Celtics GM Danny Ainge has brought Tom Brady, the quarterback for the New England Patriots, to come recruit Kevin Durant to play for the Celtics in Boston. Why would you bring a star player from another sport to try to make the most wanted person in NBA, a superstar in NBA, Kevin Durant? You think he's going to be starstruck by Tom Brady? He's the most wanted person in NBA. And two, how's that going to help any? He might be a Tom Brady fan, but I don't see any way of him going to Boston because they just signed Al Horford. Because before Al Horford signed with the Celtics, Durant tried to get Horford to come to Oklahoma City, which makes me think he's still going to stay in Oklahoma City. But if he doesn't, I don't think it's the end of the world. Because if he leaves Oklahoma City, if the Thunder, yes, they're not going to be the same team as when they almost beat the Warriors in Game 7, but they could easily do what I think is best for the Thunder if KD leaves, which is do a sign and trade with the Clippers to get Blake Griffin to fill that power forward spot. And because Oklahoma City is where Blake Griffin's from, that's where he grew up. He played at Oklahoma, 30 minutes away from Oklahoma City. And with Victor Oladipo, I don't think people understand how good of a scorer he is because he played for such a small market team in Orlando. No one really saw him on TV. He's a great scorer, a great defender. He's a good leader. And he told a reporter the reason he came to Oklahoma City is because he wants rings. He believes even if KD leaves, they can get rings. And with Blake Griffin, I think they can too. That's what I think Thunder need to do if Kevin Durant leaves. Next, we got Dwayne Wade. Where's this guy going? I expected him to sign back with the Heat, but that fell through the roof or floor, whatever you want to say. But this is such a selfless guy that everybody should want. Yes, he's gotten older, but he can win, and he's so much more athletic than people think. He takes care of his body. He's a smaller LeBron James in my eyes. Yes, they played together in Miami, and they killed it. But the Knicks are in talks with him right now. If the Knicks get Dwayne Wade, the Knicks are in dire need of a shooting guard right now. And if they get him, it will be Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Kristaps Porzingis, and Joakim Noah as their starting lineup. That's a team that will make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and possibly be able to make it to the finals and beat Cleveland and make it to the finals. Because Dwayne Wade is such a good leader. And if no matter where he goes, he's going to get paid. Just like all these no-names in the NBA are getting paid so much money because the salary cap just skyrocketed. Timothy Mozgov. Everyone knows him because he played for the Cavaliers and he won a championship. But in the finals, he only played 25 total minutes. He had 2 shots made, 7 total points, and 4 turnovers in the 25 minutes he played in the NBA Finals. In the Lakers, 4 minutes after free agency starts at 12:04, the Lakers and Mozgov agreed to a 4-year, $64 million deal. The Lakers went and got this guy who is not even proven, who's never even been the sole starter because of Tristan Thompson for the Cavs. They went and gave him all this money. And I think that shows how desperate the Lakers are right now to sign someone because no one wants to come play for the Lakers for some reason. I have no idea why. But then you have people like Nicholas Batum. He signed a 5-year, $120 million contract. I don't even know who that is. Ryan Anderson played for the Pelicans. Got signed by the Rockets for 4 years, $80 million. What? And Mike Conley, a point guard, re-signs with the Grizzlies for 5 years, $153 million. I can't even wait to see what KD's going to get paid. That's insane. All these players who no one... I have to look up who Ryan Anderson is and Nicholas Batum. All these no-names, they might turn into stars, but I don't think so because they've already been playing for about 4 years or more. But that's my rant on the free agency. And my next segment, I'm going to start trying to do every podcast as my Average Joe Athlete of the Week. Y'all need to watch this catch of this Phillies fan at a Phillies game. I think it's insane. Y'all watch this.
To the inning. Down the right field line. And it's foul, out of play. Oh, man. One-handed grab with a child in his lap.
Look at that. His daughter's not even impressed.
And some hot dogs in his hands. What is going on these last couple of days?
Look at that. Catches it one-handed while holding his daughter and eating a hot dog and holding a bag at the same time. One-handed catch. I'm telling you, the Phillies need him right now. They need him in the outfield. Hopefully he can hit. I don't know. Sign him to a 5-year, $100 million contract. I've seen what the NBA is doing, signing nobodies to that. So, hey, man, you might get a call from the Phillies later, all right? All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great one, and be on the lookout for the next one coming out pretty soon. Thanks.